What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Turf Talk. This is your Week 8 kickoff show. We are live here, as always, on the DSM Twitter channel and the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel. So, guys, do yourself a favor, do us a favor. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at DSM_media is where you can find us. Make sure to hit that follow button. And then, of course, if you want to be interactive throughout today's show, like you can see pulled up on the screen under Scotty, like my man D-Rab's doing right here, like H Philly, my man Hunter, is doing in the comments. You have to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the best and only spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up here on the screen with us. I'm one half your host, Dylan Davis. To my left, my faithful co-host, Scotty. My man, happy Sunday. It's Kelly Green Day. We're not going to talk about that game on this show. That's going to be on the pregame show. But it's going to be another fun Sunday, man. I'm happy to get into it.
Yeah, no doubt. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy to get into the slate. The slate is all right, I guess we could say. But
maybe a poor choice of words by me.
I'm happy to be here with you, nonetheless. No, well, I'm happy to get into it with you, man. No, that's it's a fair statement. But happy Sunday, everybody. It's been a busy week, obviously, with the NBA back as well, doing content on that side, and we cap it off with the Week 8 preview. So take a look at what's going on this weekend, what to look out for, and see where some of these teams are heading in the near future, right? So, no, it's always exciting to get into it with you, brother. Where do we start, I guess, is the big question.
Yeah, listen, obviously, any football I'll take, right? But Week 8, especially the 1 p.m. slate outside of our Eagles, it's not looking too promising, right? If you're tuning in the red zone today, I don't know what type of action you should expect to see during the early slate and really the entire slate. I guess we can go right to the Sunday night game, man. If you want to start there in Pittsburgh, Rodgers, Green Bay, a little bit of a revenge spot, right? The Steelers are 2.5-point underdogs, even though they're at home. This one's interesting, man. 2 4-win teams. Green Bay survives the Cardinals last week. Pittsburgh they're coming off of a win, I believe, but they lost to the Bengals 2 weeks ago. Or no, their last loss was the Bengals. Okay.
Yeah.
They're coming off a very bad loss against Joe Flacco and a beat-up Bengals team in a high-scoring game. So this game's interesting to me, man, because both teams need it for different reasons, right? If you're the Steelers, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you need to win this game to prove that this is a different Rodgers-led team than last year with the Jets and the last couple of years with Pittsburgh, right? They've been a playoff team. Russell Wilson got them, 10, 11 wins. They're competitive, but they're not going to get over the hump. This would be a big win for the resume in terms of playoff projections. And if you're Green Bay, you're winning football games. You're 4-1-1. I know this sounds kind of silly coming from an Eagles fan because obviously the only thing that matters is the win. But Green Bay, Jordan Love, they have not been playing their best football. It's a big win. It's a big game for them to go on the road in a hostile crowd against a 4-win Steelers team and walk out of there with more confidence and get to 5-1-1.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a big spot for both teams. I agree with what you said. I think, you look at Pittsburgh's side of things. Can they beat a good team? That's going to be what this comes down to, right? And the Green Bay Packers, it's not like they're on some hot streak right now, especially offensively. So, Jordan Love's going to have to come out and prove something against the defense that just got shredded by Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals, to be fair, are working with a different set of weapons than what the Green Bay Packers are ultimately working with in this matchup. So it'll be interesting to, ultimately see how Green Bay can maneuver in that fashion. And if they can continue to maneuver without, significant playmakers on the outside. I know they brought in the rookie Golden, who they thought the world of. It just, hasn't taken off yet. They got guys, right? Like Dobbs. They got a bunch of names, but there's no guy that really sticks out. Tucker Kraft has started to stick out as kind of that receiving option, especially in the red zone. But who's going to step up for Green Bay? I think it's going to be their defensive line, man. And that's why I ultimately do lean on Green Bay's side in this game. Because I think, Aaron Rodgers, all due respect, I think he's playing pretty good football right now. Even in that loss, he balled out against the Bengals, poor defense. But I just think him being the stationary quarterback that he is at this point in his career, I think that defensive line is going to get after him tonight. And I think it's going to make it pretty tough on the Pittsburgh offense, quite honestly. And all we're going to need to see from the Green Bay side of things, I believe, is just Jordan Love not turning the football over, making smart decisions, and then obviously running the football with Josh Jacobs. But yeah, man, I kind of lean Green Bay's side in this one, and I do think they honestly cover the spread in this one. It was at 3 when I last looked at it. I don't know if it's moved at all, but
yeah, it says 2.5 from ESPN Bet on ESPN, but it definitely might be 3. No, I'm sorry, I was just looking. Nick Mangold just died. Yeah,
damn.
Adam Schefter, 41 years old, complications from kidney disease. That's insane.
Damn.
That is insane. But
RIP.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you, bro. Tonight you mentioned, Rodgers getting away from that Green Bay front, and can he make plays? Can he improvise tonight and like he used to?
Yeah.
Can Pittsburgh run the ball, right? I think that's something they've not necessarily been, heading into last week. They were, or heading into the Bengals game, they were lacking it. They found a way to pop off a little bit with Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell. Got going a bit, but that's against a really bad Bengals defense and a really bad Bengals front. So I'm interested to see if they can alleviate some of the pressure. Are you planning to dropping Aaron Rodgers back 44 times tonight?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
you can't do that.
And then reversely, man, what has been such a staple of the Pittsburgh Steelers, really, for as long as I can remember, especially in the Mike Tomlin-led era, even when they don't have a quarterback, even when their offense is bottom 10 in the league, that defense has always been a pillar in Pittsburgh, and they are getting crushed this year.
Yeah.
What do they look like against Jordan Love? Can they turn Jordan Love over, which he likes to do at times? And that could be a major difference in this game. I am going to lean towards the Steelers in this one. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 18 times. I believed in Rodgers when he went to New York. That lasted 10 seconds in year 1. I said, hey, I'm going to believe in it again in year 2. It was an absolute disaster, a train wreck. He gets to Pittsburgh. They're 4-1 before last week and a bad loss, but that was not on the offense. That was simply on the defense. I think they bounce back a little bit tonight and come away with a big win.
Interesting, man. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm actually fairly confident in the Packers in this one. I don't know. I'm just not sold on the Steelers, and especially the defense at this point.
You know my thoughts on Jay Love at times. Maybe I'm just.
They had a complete overhaul in the secondary. Obviously, Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey, so on and so forth. They traded Minkah Fitzpatrick, and the 2 times they played like decent quarterbacks, it feels like they've just gotten completely exposed on the back end, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm fairly confident in Green Bay. Like Micah had 3 sacks last week. I think 1 got called back for like a hip drop tackle or something, some shit. I think he's going to get after Rodgers tonight. But hopefully it's a good game nonetheless. Sunday Night Football and this poor slate. Hopefully it's a good game.
For sure. Let's stay in the later slate, bro. Just real quick, run through this one. But obviously the team that has that has all eyes on them, and the quarterback that has all eyes on them right now, the 6-1 best record in the National Football League, Indianapolis Colts. They're undefeated at home. Cam Ward, the Titans come in 14.5-point favorites. Just real quick, do you think the Colts cover this number? It's a big number.
Yes. I think they do just blow them out today, man. Would I lay it? No. But if I had to lean one way or the other, I would pick the Colts to cover. I'll give the Colts a little bit of respect here, man.
Yeah, I mean, they just beat last week by 2 scores. The Chargers, right?
The Chargers, beat,
LA by 14 points. So I mean, if you can, and I think it was in LA. So if you can go on the road into Justin Herbert's town and come away with a 14-point win, I would assume you can beat Cam Ward and the Titans by 14.5 in this one. Probably the best game of the afternoon that you texted me about earlier. Cowboys, Broncos. Obviously, Broncos escaped with a win last week in that crazy fourth quarter comeback against the Giants, 33 points in that fourth quarter. Dallas's defense had a better week last week, but I think people are making way too big of a deal out of a game against Washington with no Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel. And then their quarterback gets hurt in the third or fourth quarter in that one.
Yeah.
And they still gave up over 20. So I don't think Dallas's defensive, problems are solved by any means. I think Bo Nix and the Broncos offense will have a lot of success.
Yeah.
I'm interested today to see if MVP level Dak Prescott continues to play MVP level ball. I think Denver gets the win. They're 3.5-point favorites. What type of ball game is this with the game on the line in the fourth quarter? Is Dallas's defense just so bad that they're down by double digits again? Or is Dak and George and CD and Javonte and Ferguson, are they balling out against a very, very, very stout Denver defense?
Right. Yeah. No, this one is it's a very interesting matchup, and yeah, I do agree. I think it may be the best matchup of this slate completely. When you look at both sides, they kind of contrast. Although the Denver Broncos have been scoring points this year, man. Bo Nix has been putting up some numbers. Oh, excuse me. I do think the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to have some trouble with that Denver offense. Sean Payton has been able to be very creative with what they do offensively, using guys like Mims and Franklin and just moving those guys around, being creative. Evan Ingram started to get into the flow of the offense as well. Cortland Sutton has been a stud of a number one target for Bo Nix. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to struggle to stop the Denver Broncos from scoring today. So if, to your point, if Dak is showing up today and playing at the high level that he's been playing at, there's no reason this shouldn't be a high scoring affair ultimately in Colorado today. So yeah, man, I'm looking at both sides kind of in that sense. Like, yes, with Dak, like, can he keep up that level of play? But also with Denver, man, are they the defense that they were last year, right? Because at times they've shown it this year. You got guys like Nick Bonito.
That's a good point.
Going in this season, right? 8 sacks. Their defense line's getting after it. Cooper's got 6 sacks. They got a couple guys with 3. So they've been racking up sacks, turnovers. Is this defense what it was last year? Because the defense from last year is not allowing Dak to go out here and drop 30 on them, right? Like, that defense from last year isn't allowing George Pickens to go up and make these contested catches and CeeDee Lamb to get loose out.
They just gave up 32 to Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo last week, right?
Yeah, so
there's got to be an edge there coming off.
They've been showing some chinks in that defensive armor. Yeah. But like I said, the Broncos offense has kind of been picking up that weight on the other end to balance it out. And then Javonte Williams, man, going against his old team, Broncos kind of just threw him out the door, I guess. Yeah. And he's had a career year so far in Dallas. Can he keep that up? Because obviously bringing balance to that offense makes a huge difference when Dak is playing the way he's playing. But there's this, it's like we talked about, man, going into, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, going into that Carolina matchup. It was just like, yes, the Cowboys, should. They should win. And Dak, he should go out there and play well against the Carolina defense.
Yeah.
Cowboys go out there and they find a way to lose to the Panthers. So I just look at those things. The Cowboys going to cowboy, man. And I think today in Denver, we get to watch the Cowboys.
I agree. I think tomorrow is a typical day in the sports talk and in the sports media world, right? The first takes, the get-ups of the world, because, again, 1 week and hey, it's been a performance after performance after performance from this Cowboys offense, right? And last week was no different.
Absolutely.
But it's like they win one game, they win a game, they get to 3-3-1. Like you mentioned, the week prior to this last win is when they lose to Bryce Young and the Panthers, who have played better, but it's still the Panthers. You're expecting to come away with a win in that game if you're Dallas. And all of a sudden, like that switch has been flipped for people again. And oh man, if this Dallas defense can get it together, like this is a playoff contender, this is a championship contender. Like Dak Prescott's playing MVP ball, and they'll come out and they'll lose today, and the defense will be bad again, and then people will be like, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be more of that. But I do just want to give props to this Cowboys offense and to Dak Prescott, because you mentioned Javonte Williams. Mm-hmm. He has brought an edge. He has brought a balance to the offense, which they haven't had in quite some time. And then you add in the number 2 in George Pickens. And the Cowboys for years had trios of wide receivers. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but remember like when Amari Cooper was like, maybe was kind of like in his prime in Dallas, but they had I can't remember who was there with them. And it's just like, putting a George Pickens level down. What'd you say?
No, I can't remember who they were either, man. I'm trying to think back, like,
because it wasn't CD yet, right? Like CD.
Michael Gallup comes to mind as
was slot receiver.
Yeah, he was maybe the third receiver.
Yeah,
he wasn't there.
Had someone else. I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank so hard, but
whatever.
Yeah. But you add in a player like George Pickens across from a CeeDee Lamb, and it's showing in that offense, right? It didn't show the first couple of weeks. CeeDee Lamb goes down with an injury. George Pickens arrives, and now there's a balance to both. Last week, obviously, both getting involved in a major way. So we'll see what that offense looks like. I don't think that defense is back by any means, and I think people will be very disappointed in the outcome of that game if you're a Cowboys fan. Where to go from here? I mean, my Lord. We could basically get into the 2-minute drill in a second. All right, I got one game I can throw to you. San Fran at Houston.
Yeah.
Humongous game for Houston.
Absolutely.
If your season's not already over, which I think it's already over, you lose this game, put a fork in them. They're done. Their playoff hopes are done. There's no need to even bring Joe Mixon back. If Nico Collins is injured, just put him on the IR or something. Your season will be absolutely cooked. Now, with that said, San Fran battling just injuries galore, dude. Like, I feel, Terry, if you're listening, I feel so bad for you. However, you probably have the coach of the year, in my opinion. I mean, this dude just plugs and plays whoever, and the system is working, and Robert Saleh comes back. They lost so many defensive guys in the offseason. Fred Warner goes down. Nick Bosa goes down. That defense is still playing really, really well. This is a 49ers team that's 5-2, and they're battling still, competing for the NFC West lead with Seattle and the Rams.
Yeah.
With all of these injuries.
Yeah.
I think San Fran goes into Houston and gets a win. I'm not going to lie. Am I wrong for being shocked that Houston's 2.5-point favorites? I mean, they have not shown a goddamn thing to make them 2.5-point favorites over a 5-win football team.
Yeah.
Injuries or not.
I agree. I guess it's just the home, home field advantage in this case. Like, maybe you would just call it like an even spread in a sense, like with it being 2.5. But no, I feel you though. Ultimately, I think San Fran has just played much, much better than Houston has this season in general. And the defense is still playing hard, even without Fred Warner, even without Bosa. So I'm with you on Shanahan as well. I think he's just plugged and played with the wide receivers, especially in that group. Obviously, he's had to play with Mac Jones, with Brock Purdy out. Kittle's been down. He's back now. But CMC playing at a very high level amongst all of this turmoil right now, which is kind of keeping them steady. And I think at the very least today, he can continue to do that for San Fran, even on the road. And I think the problems just continue for Houston, man. No Nico Collins today, no Christian Kirk, no lack of weapons, right? It's just going to be another tough day for CJ Stroud, in my opinion. But, thinking through it, maybe they're giving, Houston the benefit of the doubt, to your point earlier. This is it, man. You drop the 2-5, the season's done. Obviously, the Colts are playing the Titans today, the 1-6 Titans at home. They're probably going to be 7-1. If you go 2-5, your season is probably going to be over, barring something significant happening to the Colts.
And they just shown no signs of that offensively. Defensively, you could make an argument they have a championship level defense. I mean, they single-handedly kept Houston in a game in which Seattle was just flying up and down the field almost every possession, it felt like, on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And what they caused 4 or 5 turnovers in this game. And at the, with 5 minutes left, it's a 2-possession game, and they're at the 40-yard line. There's a chance, and then nope, they don't do it. And then they score a garbage time touchdown on 3rd and goal with like a minute or less left in the game.
Make it look a little bit better.
Yeah, just a big waste, man. I'm not CJ Stroud's biggest fan. The way that people talk about this guy in the outlook of quarterbacks, right? Like, oh, CJ's top 10, CJ's top 10, CJ's top 6, like whatever. It's insane to me, man. Like, it's just not the case. You can get San Fran at +3 at -115 on Fanatics. I haven't looked at DK. I already laid. Obviously, we'll get into that on the pregame show. I am going to be simply watching the Eagles game, so I'm just going to wager on that game probably. But if I had to give out like probably my favorite bet of the 1 o'clock slate, it would probably have to be the 49ers +3.
Just looking at the rest of the slate, honestly, I didn't even really think about it just because I knew the Eagles game was at that time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Bucks -4.5. You think Baker coming off of a loss, down performance, obviously no Mike Evans.
I do, but it just being a division rival, they should. I don't know.
No, I feel you, man. But all right, we can kind of get into this 2-minute drill and just kind of run through.
Yeah. Let's just cruise through them, man. This is pretty brutal.
It is pretty brutal. I texted you this morning, like, wow, as I was getting set up for this.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Falcons 6.5-point favorites at home. Yeah, give me Atlanta here. I believe Kirk Cousins is slated to start with a Michael Penix injury. It won't matter. Bijan and Tyler Algier might run for 450 combined yards this afternoon. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I would like to see the Falcons take care of business at home against a poor Miami team and, just continue working towards proving that they are a legitimate threat in the NFC. So, yeah. I like the Falcons to cover at home. Kirk Cousins, can he play well and make the seat hot? It'll be interesting. But
Or get the trade market on fire, right?
Maybe
he goes somewhere. Maybe he goes back to Minnesota. I don't know. I'm just throwing that idea out there. Coming next, Jets, Bengals. I picked the Jets to get their first win in the season last year. That didn't happen. This Bengals defense is not good by any means. It is in Cincinnati. And Joe Flacco is at least capable of getting the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and those weapons. Cincinnati will win this game and get to 4-4.
Yeah, man, I do think Cincinnati should take care of business here. Joe Flacco in a revenge spot. I just had to get that one out loud. That one made me chuckle when I was thinking about it. But he would have a revenge spot against so many teams at this point. But no, he's playing
like Ryan Fitzpatrick having a revenge game.
At this point in Joe Flacco's career, I think he's just playing with so much like freedom and like he has like nothing to worry about. He's set in his career at this point. He's made his name. I feel like he's playing free right now, which is very dangerous with the Bengals weapons. So yeah, I do like Cincinnati at home, man.
Browns, Patriots in Foxborough, New England 7.5-point favorites. Give me Drake May to continue playing MVP type football. Give me the Patriots in this one easy.
It is interesting. It's interesting, right? Like I'm looking at these two games in connection. Cleveland at New England, and then Buffalo at Carolina. Man, obviously you think Buffalo 4-2 going into Carolina should run away with that game. They need a bounce back spot. Carolina somehow is 4-3. Somehow is 4-3 with wins against the Cowboys, right, mixed in there. Nonetheless, I'm looking at these two games in connection because if you ask yourself at the start of the season, like Patriots 5-2 at this point in the season, would you think going into a game against a tough Browns defense with Drake May, this young quarterback, would you think that it's just clear cut and the Patriots win this game? You know what I mean? So I think this is a big spot because if the Patriots can take care of business, go to 6-2, Bills obviously need to take care of business, go to 5-2, basically getting at the point of how serious should we take the Patriots in winning this division? It's a good step forward today. Take care of business against the team.
Put a little bit of separation with already having the win over them, like you mentioned. You bring it to my attention now. I didn't even realize they're both the same spread. Carolina at home +7.5 or +8 if you alt it a little bit. It's kind of interesting.
It is with the way the Bills have played, man.
They're undefeated at home. Bills are 1-1 on the road. The way that they have played, you're right. I'm just trying to look.
The Bryce
Panthers,
Young is out though. I don't know if that determines that for you or not.
Oh, that's right, Andy. The Red Rockets fired today. That might change my mind a little bit. I completely forgot about that. So it makes a little bit more sense. I was also looking real quick. In Carolina's 3 losses, they've only covered a 7.5-point number once against the Cardinals. The other 2 losses, they got blown out.
Interesting.
So
good call. Yeah, stay away from that.
Yeah. I almost talked myself into it for a second. And then, dude, could you imagine, like, we just completely forget Bryce Young's out, and I turn on Red Zone, and Andy Dalton's dropping back
flinging that
drive, and I'm like, oh, my God.
What did I do?
What did I do?
It might just work out, man. You never know with the way these old head quarterbacks.
I mean, listen, I'm going to be. I have nothing against the Bills. Obviously, like the Bills Mafia, the fan base. That people always compare them. But I'm rooting for the Panthers. Like I don't know why. Like I'm finding comfort in the Ravens' lack of success, and if the Bills start to go down, I'm just finding comfort in it because
turn this league upside down.
When not just that, and it builds drama, but it's just like people want to talk about a certain quarterback, but then give MVP honors to others and talk them up. And I just find joy in those teams losing sometimes. But speaking of that other team, Lamar still not back. What did I miss in the last day or so? Because I was doing some research for this game, and the NFL is now looking into Baltimore. There's fines, potential, draft compensation lost about what they did with Lamar on the injury report. I don't know what I missed over the last couple of days or two.
That's interesting. It was just like a practice designation. Like they designated him as full participant, and then they changed it and said he was limited.
Yeah, I don't know what changed. And that's weird that you can get fined because, what if he got hurt again in practice?
Right.
Was a full participant?
From a report I was seeing, he was just running scout team offense against the starting defense.
Yeah,
so
so something's up there. I believe Tyler Huntley is in line to start today. They're going away from the Cooper Rush experiment. Yeah. Bears underdogs in Baltimore, man.
It's interesting, man. It makes me scared, and it makes me stay away from that just because, maybe the books are right. Maybe this is a letdown spot for the Chicago Bears, who are 4-2 currently. Yeah. This is a big spot for them. They could get to 5-2, and then what type of confidence are they working with at this point after going into Baltimore, given what Baltimore is? But it's still the Baltimore Ravens organization. You go in there and you get a W in Baltimore. It's a big deal. But it is interesting. I saw something with the social media crew for the Bears. They were trolling the Ravens with what they did, taking the games out of the locker room and shit, shuffleboard or whatever.
I did see that report.
So they made a little video and put it out on their social media. So we'll see if the Ravens have any dignity left, right, with the record that they're currently holding. But yeah, I think the Bears win. They should win.
This is,
crazier though.
It's not. I don't obviously with Tyler Huntley playing the way the Ravens defense has looked. This game doesn't fly off the page at you, right, with the injuries. Right. But this is a critical game on both sides for anybody out there. Because the podcast clips that I've seen from successful football podcasts, sports podcasts, the people that keep saying, "Or is the Ravens season over?" No, they're still going to make the playoffs. What are you fucking smoking? So this is a critical point. The Ravens lose. If there are any survivors, if there are any people out there that are still believing in the Ravens to make the postseason, they lose today, their season's over. They go 1-6, the season is over. Reversely, if you are a Bears fan and the pain and the torture you've had to endure being a Bears fan over the last X amount of years, this is a game that even though you're underdogs, you should go in and win. Yeah. And it kind of changes the course of your franchise and this season. You win a game against Tyler Huntley, you get to 5-2. You are setting yourself up for a possible for a playoff spot, right? I get the division they're in is very tough. You could make a wild card with the extra wild card this year. You lose this game though, and you go to 4-3. You're flirting around 500 again. It's probably a bad loss in my opinion, even though you're underdogs.
Yeah, it is.
You're just being more of the same. So this is a breaking point. This is the line in the sand for both seasons to me.
Yeah, man. And when I start to think of it like that, I kind of lean Baltimore's way at that point.
Really?
Because you're at this window now with Lamar coming back. It's all you got to do is just get through this game with Tyler Huntley, play fierce, play out of your mind today, and just try to sneak a W against a Chicago team that is 4-2.
They're not world beaters.
Still not proven, right? We're still not full believers in the Chicago Bears just yet here. So I think the Ravens can still hold on once again to a little bit of their dignity today and get a W at home to just kind of bridge that gap to Lamar Jackson. To be fair, bro, I the reason why these people are saying this, I I get it to an extent. I'm not in the same, mindset.
The schedule?
I think 1-5 is pretty tough, but yeah, the schedule, man. Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Pats, Packers. Those are your tough matchups right outside of division. But that being said, the division, right? Cincinnati, it's like they could lose to Cincinnati. It's not saying that they're just this runaway team just yet. But with Lamar, I don't know. It gives you a little bit.
I agree. I just need to see that defense be different than they've proven to be. Like, even with Lamar, because they were losing all these games with Lamar before the injury because the defense was so goddamn bad. So if that hasn't changed, it would be the same thing as the Cowboys for me. You're not going to be relevant come the end of the year. So we'll see. It's a big, big defining moment for both teams.
Absolutely.
I think this is the last game outside of Monday Night Football. Bucks Saints, I mentioned it to you a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Mike Evans done for the year. Spencer Rattler, Baker had a very down game last week on Monday Night Football against the Lions. I think he probably bounces back in this one. I'll take the Bucks. I know they're missing, Mike, and I don't know. I haven't looked at Bucky Irving's status. I don't know what Chris Godwin's status is.
Yeah, neither of them are in either.
Right. Yeah. Even if they're all out, I'm still taking the Bucks in this one. I think the defense will get it done. I think Baker will get it done.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bucks once again, just being that divisional opponent. I know Baker had some choice words for the Saints over this last week. Just when people give fuel to the fire that just doesn't need lit, a 1-5, 1-6 New Orleans Saints team. But once again, playing with a little bit of dignity at home, it does give me a little bit of caution with how beat up the Bucks are, because it does. It feels like a slam dunk Bucks bounce back spot against the New Orleans Saints, right? That suck. But just like we thought with the Giants on Thursday Night Football, it's not always what it's made up to be from pregame. So they do have to go out there and perform. I agree with you. I do think the Bucks do win this game even on the road, but it does look a little funny to me. But all of these matchups, you could go that. To be fair to the Bucks, you could go that with that narrative in just about all of these matchups, because a lot of them are lopsided, quote unquote. Yeah. Put that in parentheses, like lopsided when it comes to spread or matchup injuries. So, yeah, to be fair to the Bucks, they should take care of business today.
They should. And listen, Spencer Rattler has not been nearly as bad as I thought. Like and the Saints team was going to be. Look, they're 1-6. They're not good. He's got an 8-4 touchdown to interception ratio. It's not the best, but he's got almost 1,500 passing yards. He's got like a 67, 68% completion percentage, almost a 90 quarterback rating. So he hasn't been awful. That offense has had some performances where they've moved the ball. Chris Olave is not irrelevant because the quarterback's so bad. So they're not terrible. But 4.5 is just a little too low for me.
I feel that
they're going to cover or win this game.
The Bucks should score, right? Like at the very least. So yeah,
Terry, you guys are my best bet at the 1:00 slate. So
good luck today. Yeah, you guys should take care of business, even on the road.
And then Monday Night Football, man, we were in line to have a banger. Jaden Daniels is hurt again, so now the Chiefs in Arrowhead are 11.5-point favorites against the Commanders. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to beat the dog shit out of Washington. Again, I it's not because of the injury, but like I take great joy. Just give me one of these again. That the Commanders are going to get their shit kicked in again, because is it Marcus Mariota? Is he starting this week for them? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck. I think Terry McLaurin's back. Oh, yay! No, the Chiefs are going to beat the shit out of Washington.
The 11.5-point spread. They should.
I'm not going to lay it, but I think they cover it.
They should. Yeah. No Jaden Daniels. They should cover it. They should, with the way the Kansas City Chiefs have been playing.
And the way that 15's been playing, bro, right? Like,
yeah.
They're 4-3. Like, the record's not projecting it, especially what they start the season. 0-2 or 0-3. I forget what they started.
0-2 at least, yeah.
He's playing MVP type ball, and that's something he has not done in the regular season in the past couple of years, right? Obviously, come postseason, he kind of turns it up. But like, remember the last 2 years in the regular season, in the middle of the season, the Chiefs' offense is sluggish, and they're only averaging 17 points over the last 4 weeks, and blah blah blah. That's not the case right now. He and Rashid Rice came back last week, scored 2 touchdowns in his debut of the season. Yeah, that offense is humming. That defense is picking it up, and the Chiefs seem like they're okay again.
Would you say that you're back to fully trusting the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think I am. I just think the level that he's playing at, dude, 1,800 yards, 14 tutties, and 2 picks. And I mean, one of them is a crit, and obviously it's not like a congrats on it. But like the one is a pick 6 in Jacksonville that cost them the game. So like that is a negative. But like the fact that I can pinpoint 50% of his mistakes in one play is crazy. They've won 4 of their last 5 with that Jacksonville loss being the only one. So yeah, I mean, look, 31-0 against the Raiders, cool. Drop 30 against the Lions, drop 37 against the Ravens, and score 28 in Jacksonville. And if he doesn't throw that pick, they win. So yeah, I think I'm back to believing in what they're doing.
I still need to see a little bit more. I think that's why I asked. I was getting that feeling from you, but yeah,
I understand what you're saying. But I look then like add into the fact that I am believing in them and multiply that by what the AFC looks like right now.
Fair.
I mean, their biggest threat is Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts at the moment. And I just think if you're talking January football, that's not going to be much of a threat, in my opinion. So, like, Josh and the Bills defense, Lamar comes back and that record, and the Ravens defense, which have been the 2 things. Burrow's out till December, and the Ravens are the Bengals are a 500 team. Yeah. You have the Steelers, like the Colts right now are their biggest stepping block, and I just don't think in January, if that was a matchup, that's something I would be fearful of in Kansas City. So, yeah. It's I hate saying it. They're so fucking annoying that I think they're going to be back in an AFC Championship game after the way the year started, right? Chargers, fraudulent. Jacksonville, fraudulent. Houston stinks. It's like there's just not much in their way, in my opinion. So, we'll see, man. We'll see how the year continues. Maybe Denver will be that team that keeps them from winning the division and it is a problem come January for them. So. We'll see. But with that said, I guess let's get on out of here and let's go hop onto the DSM Philly YouTube channel to talk some Eagles, Giants on the pregame show. If you guys are watching live with us right now, we appreciate it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, the Turf Talk YouTube channel. But jump on over to the DSM Philadelphia YouTube channel. The link is in our link tree, just like this one is. And make sure to tune in, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the slate.